Hello everyone and welcome to another installment of Fantastic 5. This week we're counting down 5 of the weirdest stories in Supergirl history. Supergirl has been around in one form or another since 1959, and in that time, she's been at the center of some pretty wacky stuff. She's been Superman's cousin, a goop robot, an angel, Superman's fake daughter, and back to cousin. Thanks to her hit television show, Supergirl is more in the spotlight than ever. This list is going to look at 5 stories that probably won't be adapted for the show. This looks like a job for the top 5. Number 5. Coffee Nanites. In the early 2000s, Supergirl wasn't the iconic Zor-el, or even the pocket universe hero that was around for the death of Superman. She wasn't even blonde. This brief era Supergirl was named zor-el, and she claimed to be the daughter of Superman and Lois Lane from the future. However, it turns out that zor-el was actually a human girl named Mia, who had been infected with Kryptonian DNA by Brainiac, who was attempting to bring about a future in which Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are changed into evil cyborgs by coffee infected with Brainiac nanotechnology. Don't worry though, zor-el erases herself from the time stream, and that's why no one remembers her. Number 4. In Love with Lex Luthor. One of the goals of the 1986 relaunch of Superman continuity was to make Superman the true last son of Krypton, and so Zor-el died heroically in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. However, by 1988, a new Supergirl was introduced, but this version was a protoplasmic construct called Matrix, built by an alternate universe Lex Luthor out of Lena Lang's DNA. She was brought to the main Earth by Superman and was soon helping Metropolis, which is cool, but the bad news is that she was hooking up with Lex Luthor Jr., who was actually the regular Lex Luthor who had faked his death and implanted his brain into a cloned body with a red neckbeard and mullet. Supergirl finally broke up with him when he tried to clone her into a harem. Number 3. Earth Angel. Shortly after this, Matrix tried to save the life of a young woman named Linda Danvers, who was killed by her boyfriend as he tried to sacrifice her to raise a demon. Matrix manages to merge with Linda, which I guess is a perk of being made of protoplasmic goo. Somehow, this act of sacrifice turned the now fused Matrix-Linda combo into an angel of fire. As a result, Supergirl gained new powers like fire wings, fire vision, and S-shaped fiery teleportation portals. Eventually, Linda and Matrix were separated and all the angel stuff went with Matrix, who kind of faded into obscurity, and Linda turned into a more traditional Supergirl, because sometimes it's better if Supergirl can just punch real hard instead of having fire wings. Number 2. Comet the Superhorse. Stop me if you've heard this one. After the success of other such super pets as Krypto the Superdog, Shrieky the Supercat, and Beppo the Super Monkey, the original Supergirl Zor-el got herself a fancy super horse. Only he wasn't a horse. He was a centaur who got turned into a horse by an evil wizard, but fortunately was given superpowers by a good sorceress, including immortality. After being imprisoned on an asteroid for thousands of years, Comet was freed by Supergirl's passing rocket from Argo City. Later, an additional magic spell allowed him to turn into a human when a certain comet passed the Earth. In these times, he turned into rodeo rider Bronco Bill Starr, who Supergirl fell in love with, not really knowing that he was really her pet horse most of the time. You know, just your traditional girl meets horse love story. And number 1, Comet Take 2. In the years following Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC tried to undo some of the weirder elements of their history in an actually pretty dumb attempt to prove that comics were for cool dudes and grown-ups, and definitely not for kids in underoos. Unfortunately, in a lot of cases, this ended up making things way weirder than the original version. Case in point, what's weirder than an immortal superpowered centaur cursed to look like a horse? How about a 3-fingered centaur who was also an angel with ice wings and love powers, who was also a male jockey who was injected with horse DNA, who was also a female stand-up comedian? I'm guessing this version of Comet will be showing up on the TV series any day now. That's all for this week. Join us again next week when 5 more things weird us out. Thanks for watching this episode of Fantastic 5. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance for more comic facts, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comic awesomeness.